right, that's all we can afford. Welcome back to another episode of Deliberation Room. I'm excited about this one. This one is a bit closer to my heart because today we're going to be covering our pilgrimage to New Orleans and Baton Rouge for my bachelor party. So, you've heard it a couple times. Your boy is getting married next year. So I thought, what better way to celebrate marriage than to go and scream at a football field all day and get viciously drunk with some of my closest friends.
What are you talking about? We didn't get that drunk.
You know what? You're right, actually. We'll get into, some of the debacles, the seedy details. But first, I want you to stop what you're doing. I want you to go follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Jury of Your Peers. I want you to type in on Reddit, Jury of Your Peers. Don't see anything? That's because Bello hasn't made it yet, but that's coming, right? I want you to go on Twitter, type Jury of Your Peers in. That exists, but it's blank. I'm just going to let you know right now. But hey, we got a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot of content coming out for you guys. So, with that being said, boys, anything you want to lead off with?
There's this great podcast that you should, right when you're done with this one, like listen to this episode entirely, catch up on Jury of Your Peers, right? And then go straight to the 2-minute drill. Paddy, what is the 2-minute drill?
It's for those college football fanatics that just can't get enough football on Saturdays, so they need to fill their week with more content, more bad bets, more bad takes, more irrational anger over, college students playing a game.
Yes.
You'll get that with the 2-minute drill.
It's true. And, even though this is an LSU-focused podcast, I'm going to refrain from mentioning Brian Kelly's firing a lot. I will talk about it, I'm sure. But if you want to hear some raw, just feedback on that, get over to the 2-minute drill on Friday. Raw. It's very raw. It's real. On Friday of this week, Paddy's episode is coming out, and we react to it in full. You get our full, unmitigated rage, or mine, and Paddy's very cool, calm, and collected reaction. So get over there, check it out. Awesome podcast. You're supporting us when you support him. We're all in this together, like they said on High School Musical. Anyway, so we took a trip on the 11th of October, so this month, down to the good old state of Louisiana. So we stayed in New Orleans at a townhouse. It was freaking awesome. Highly suggest. I'm not going to tell you where it was. No free promo. But very beautiful townhouse in a giant complex of townhomes. And we were close to a lot of things. Got to get up, go get some catfish and grits one morning. But the big thing is, guys, we partied. We partied hard. So night one, we get in. Paddy was not able to get in until very late. So we just played a drinking card game for a while and then went to dinner at a place downtown. It was a great time. A lot of my worlds were colliding. So it was good to kind of introduce everybody in a very chill setting, like a very calm setting before, the antics of the weekend. Bello, you were at that dinner. Initial thoughts, Louisiana, you fly in, you land the plane. What are you thinking?
So I have only been to New Orleans once in my life with my current fiance's family. And it was, I enjoyed it. I liked New Orleans. It wasn't my favorite, right? Like I was like, I feel unsafe. I don't feel like I should be walking around here. Some context to that, now that I'm an older man, it was right before Mardi Gras. So it was not Mardi Gras yet.
Yes.
My mother-in-law, who doesn't know anything about New Orleans, like she had never been, I don't think either, or if she has been, it's been like 10 plus years. She booked us on a hotel on Bourbon Street. Like you need to get on Bourbon Street to go to your hotel room. And so that's why there's some like late nights coming back to the hotel, and I was like, I should not be here.
Yeah,
I
big mistake.
like am terrified.
Big mistake. I'll tell you, locals do not just like go to Bourbon all times of night. It's very touristy. Like, I mean, I'm sure you guys knew we were tourists in that moment. Paddy, you got in late, but I know, you still, when you woke up, it was time. We had a time. What were your thoughts of just New Orleans, Louisiana in general? I know you probably been around the block, but.
Yeah, I mean, that Dagobah heat, man, like that swamp heat. No, it was cool. It was cool. Bourbon Street was cool. You can drink a lot there.
It's true.
A lot of good food. That breakfast that we had that morning after I got in was fantastic. We'll get into the drinking of it in a minute here, but that food was great. LSU was cool. Campus really wasn't what I expected. Yeah, to kind of go off what Bello was saying, did not feel safe.
No,
I got in at like, I want to say like 1 o'clock or something. He was still up. He was in his room. I go upstairs. I'm like getting ready to sleep. And this bunk bed. By the way, whenever my bachelor party happens, I will make sure that there's a bunk bed that you two have to sleep in, because I was forced to sleep in two bunk beds.
You have
both
slept
of your
in a bunk bed
parties.
in both trips. That's
so
actually
both
wild.
of you will be sleeping in a bunk bed at my bachelor party, no matter what. But
yeah, but you were
That's
in a
fair.
bunk bed by yourself for this one.
that doesn't matter. I was still in a bunk bed.
That is true. I didn't even think about the fact that you also were in a bunk bed at Bello's. That's actually crazy.
Beside the point. But Bello texted me and he said, "Hey, did you make sure you locked the door?" I was like, "Yes, I locked the door, man. Like, what? I'm not a heathen."
Okay, first of all, why do I sound like that to you? What the fuck?
Because I can tell you were in a
Excuse you.
panic. You were like, I don't know. I don't know who's going to come
He's
in.
like,
and-
I don't want to get up and check though. What if you didn't and there's someone out there?
It's not, I have that thing. It's like that parent thing where it's like, I can't sleep knowing someone will enter at some point, and that's gonna wake me up, because I'm the type, if I hear the front door open, because my room was right by the front door, I was like, my brain will just go haywire. Firstly, secondly, it's late. I just want to make sure he locked the door. That's all. And yes, I am scared of New Orleans. If you're not, you're dumb. You should absolutely be very wary of yourself in New Orleans.
Yeah.
And a quick note as well, they do call New Orleans the Dagobah of the United States. So
Yes, I'm sure that's a very common note. Obviously, as somebody who went to college in Louisiana, who lived in New Orleans, whenever I got my first job out of college, I was used to it. So like I've been around, and you kind of know the good areas and the bad areas. I'm not going to pretend like New Orleans is not dangerous, because it is. But you learn kind of where you can and can't go. So I felt, very safe. And, we were chilling. We hit all the high quality spots. But first night ends, and then we rise. I proceeded to wake up the entire house. A really close friend of mine, Henry, you'll hear him mentioned throughout this podcast, other podcasts, very, very close friend of mine, had a gigantic speaker. And at 9 a.m., I was like, it's time for everybody to wake up. I had already been up for a while. I had already, gone to the store, come back with some mimosas. And I was like, you know what? We're going to get a jump start on this day. So cranked up the music, woke everybody up. They complained about it, but once we get into what happened Saturday, I will feel very vindicated about doing what I did. And that's how our day started. I was already drunk by the time everybody woke up, and we all traveled to this little restaurant called Lula's. It's on St. Charles Street. I loved going there whenever I lived in New Orleans. And the interesting part about this place is that it is a vodka distillery. So, you might go to brunch with your girlfriends or your guy friends. Hey, we don't judge over here. and you might do a bottomless mimosa, right? Look, hey, dude, girls can go with all their guy friends. Guys can go with all their girlfriends, mix and match. I don't know. You don't know people's sitch. I had to be inclusive. But you might do a bottomless mimosa. You might do a few Bloody Marys for a brunch. We, however, participated in Lula's bottomless vodka bar. I will let the boys give their takes on the bottomless vodka bar. Let's start with you, Bello.
So let's start here. Darrien, how many mimosas did you have before we went to Lula's?
3 to 4. I don't remember.
So that's how we started. I think I had one. Paddy, no idea if you had any before we went.
I had 4.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, Paddy was getting into it.
This should be illegal. This concept should not be legal. We don't do free promo here on Jury of Your Peers, but we may have to make 2 exceptions, one of which is Lula's, because $20 for all you can drink vodka.
It's an absurd price.
It was
absurd price.
It was bad. If you put that in the great state of Wisconsin, you would get shut down just due to complaints of public violence.
Yeah.
It was and it was, by the way, for everybody out there,
it was good
great
vodka.
Quality.
Yeah, it was good vodka.
Great vodka. They had 4 mixers, so they just had these little dispensers of lemonade, pink lemonade, whatever the fuck that was, Bloody Mary mix, Moscow Mule mix, and
they had a pomegranate spritz or something.
And the boys were damaged while at this place. It was some real work done to the boys while we were in there. Anything to add, Paddy?
Oh man. There are several videos out there of me. Yeah, man, I got pretty drunk here. I felt like I was maintaining.
Am I maintaining, man?
Yeah, I felt like I was maintaining, and then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, I am devastatingly drunk right now. And I don't think that truly hit me until we got to the next few places that we went to, but I set up a pretty good base there. Listen, food was fantastic. I got these really good French toast and bacon and pecan syrup. That was fantastic. And then I know you guys got the biscuits and gravy and chicken, I think, right?
Yes.
And
fire.
Excellent.
We got crawfish mac and cheese and stuff like that. If we didn't have the food that went along with it, I legitimately think one of us would have died on Bourbon Street.
I genuinely think so.
But yeah, no, this place was awesome. That pomegranate berry mix with the vodka was fantastic. They would legitimately bring you out a glass, and it felt like they kept adding more each time they came around. It's
I think
the
they
opposite
realized we were
of
for
what
real.
you would have thought. They didn't start us out with a ton, and then they started pouring more and more into it. Yeah, man. That vodka had alcohol in it.
There was a moment where the 3 of us, and this is gonna sound sus, I don't care.
I know what you're gonna say. Yeah,
we had a moment where the 3 of us all had to use the bathroom at the same time, and so all 3 of us, the boys, went to the bathroom, and that's kind of where I was like, "Oh, I'm not maintaining."
That's when I realized
hammered.
that I was pretty drunk.
I do have a video on my phone from that bathroom visit.
Yep.
Do you? I don't remember
Yes.
what we even did in there.
I
be
do.
honest with you.
It
was one of those looking in the mirror and you're like, "Oh,
yeah, you
fuck."
knew.
Yeah.
So I think that each of us, and I want to really paint the picture for you guys. It's Friday at 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And there are 7 dudes in a majority empty restaurant.
There was one other couple there.
We opened it up.
Absolutely hammered, guys. We had like 6 drinks apiece of bottomless vodka. But yeah, to everybody's point, the food, awesome. Like I said, I loved that place. And, that was just the preview, which honestly, hand up on me. We started off a little hot. I'm not going to lie. The night devolved from there. But from Lula's, we did what everybody who goes to New Orleans has to do. We went to Bourbon. So pro tip, if you would like to go to Bourbon, go during the day. It is so much better and safer to go during the day. The bars aren't like packed out the ass. You can actually move around, get around. And we went to a spot that serves these things called hurricanes. If you know, you know. And I proceeded to immediately spill a bright red drink on my beige shirt. If that gives you any indication of what state we were all in. While I was trying to video for the podcast, I put my own personal belongings on the line for this podcast. No, but there are several videos of us from that first stop. There's a couple pictures of boys holding some exotic animals. I'm sure they'll get into that. But yeah, that was our first stop. We got some content that I think will come out at some point while we were there. But Paddy, I think I'll start with you here because I think you have a pretty interesting trek to this first bar.
I got a hold of parrot. And it was
Welcome to
awesome.
Bourbon Street.
It was awesome.
Literally.
It was so cool. I held a parrot. There was one on my shoulder, and then I held him in my hands like a baby. And he was pretty cool. I thought we were gonna have to pay. Actually, I didn't think we were gonna have to pay. I wasn't thinking very much. Bello thought we were gonna have to pay.
Yeah.
And he goes, I can't believe we didn't have to pay. I go, I wasn't going to pay him anyways.
Yeah, Paddy was going to walk
into the
off.
bar.
He was going to walk off.
For all my people who have some sort of observational intelligence, we were fucked up, and I just see Paddy approaching a stranger who's holding parrots and letting people take photos, and I'm like, no, Paddy, don't touch the parrot, because I'm from Miami. I think a little bit like a New Yorker, if you go to take a photo with someone, you're going to take that photo. They're going to go, sweet, that was $40. And if you don't pay me, there's 3 guys here that will beat the fuck out of you. So that's
I could run
my
faster
thing.
than them.
Into the bar with all.
Lucky for Paddy, it was the nicest woman ever. She let us take photos and she goes, it's not, you don't have to pay me anything. I accept tips, but it's not like I'm going to charge you.
Did we tip her?
I did. I sent her a tip on Cash App for that because it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. And also, I'm going to include a small anecdote to this story. While in the Uber, because, we don't drive when we're hammered. We take Ubers like responsible people. Paddy did start barking for some reason, and I'm still not sure at what. Yeah. That's how far we had already gotten by this point.
The reflection on Paddy's face. He's like, I did what now?
Paddy did do that. And I think I laughed so hard I started crying at a point because I was telling him to stop, but he kept barking.
Wonder what I was
New Orleans
barking
has
at.
that effect on people. I have no idea. I think you might have seen the parrots or something. Or you saw a dog and just started like barking at it or something. I'm not quite sure.
All right.
I missed this. Well, I was with a friend who drove us. He was staying sober, which is lame for a bachelor trip. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not going to name you, but you know who you are. And so we go into this bar, and the boys, Bello and Paddy, this was their idea. I was not in any state to be coming up with ideas, as it should have been. Decide they're going to go and interview a bunch of football fans, right? So we're there for the LSU South Carolina game, and there are a ton of Gamecocks at this bar. So they're going up, we're getting, man on the street interviews. We got some good content, like I said. Probably coming out. I'm a little bit ashamed to be an LSU fan at this point due to our season. But, hey, it's good content. It is. It's good. So, they're doing these. We finally decide, my friend Henry says, let's hit the road. It's time to go, which was a great call on his part.
It was a good call.
It was a great call on his part. We travel over to another
Can I
bar.
make a quick just anecdote
Go
for
ahead.
that? For our non-football fans, the Gamecock is the mascot for South Carolina University or State of South Carolina. What?
University of South Carolina.
South Carolina? Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. So when Darrien said there's a bunch of Gamecocks,
No, there's a
in
bunch
this
of
bar,
Gamecocks.
Yeah.
you know what that is.
Well, if you listen to the 2-minute drill, you would know that. So,
yeah,
hey.
exactly. Just, if
After
you want
this-
more little tidbits of information, just
Yeah.
head over to 2-minute drill.
After this, hit the 2-minute drill.
And we had to get out of there because I was looking for cigars. Darrien spilled a hurricane all over himself. Like, that's when you know it's devolving. When a drink is spilled on a shirt and I start looking for tobacco, we are in a bad spot.
Like, this is where I realized that I was fucked up. Like, you guys realized at Lula's, but I think I was still on the up. Like, I was still rising to my full drunkenness.
When the hand grenade hit my hand.
My God.
That's
Let's
when
get
I
into
realized
Let's get into that.
that I was fucked up. That was when
yeah.
I realized that I was beyond repair.
We traveled to this other bar, Tropical Isle, that sells hand grenades, which is like a frozen drink. I think it's pineapple flavored. I've never paid that much attention. I just drink it. So we all got frozen hand grenades. There's a beautiful picture of it. If this becomes a clip, I'll put it in here. Yeah, and, we're having a good time. We're having a great time. I'm sipping on my hand grenade. It's cool, refreshing in that Dagobah heat.
There it is.
And I get down. It's like a long neck, and then it has like a little It has a little hand grenade at the bottom. That's like the reservoir at the bottom. So I finished that entire long section, and once it hit the hand grenade, I started going, this is not going to end well. I've reached the point of no return. I need to put this down. Did I? No. And honestly, that's on me. That was my mistake.
Nope, it's your bachelor party. You do that every time.
I think that's what I was pushing myself because I was like, you know what? This is what it is, man. Like, this is what it is. But that's when I realized I was like, oh, this is over. I think I probably went mute. And if I didn't go mute, I have no idea what I was saying. So I hope I did. But what was you guys like once we get those hand grenades in the system? How are we feeling? Bello, we'll go back to you for this one.
This was the point of no return. This is where not even the night. It's like 2 p.m., guys. It is
It's not late. It's not. It got late early for the boys.
in the afternoon.
It got late early for the boys.
By far where things went south. I remember starting to realize at this point, you know when you're like, oh, I'm drunk, and then 2 hours in, oh, I'm drunk.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I got. I was about halfway through the hand grenade, and I was like, we need to go. We need to not be here anymore. For people who don't know what a hand grenade is, I know Darrien briefly talked about it. This might be the most alcoholic drink I've ever had in my life because the fact that I had an ungodly amount of vodka and a few drinks, like whiskey drinks at that other bar, and then this one drink is what absolutely sent me into a tizzy was insane. And I didn't finish it straight up. I had half and they're calling Ubers. I was like, wonderful, fantastic. Thank you.
Great news.
And, yeah, the Uber rides home were interesting, to say the
I think
least.
I must have fallen asleep because I don't remember nothing.
100% you did. We have some great videos of the Uber homes, or the Uber's home.
Love it. Paddy?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Drinks. Just so many drinks. I attempted to interview some college kids outside of the bar, some 3 South Carolina fans that were like, what the hell is this guy doing? Because I clearly was in no state to be attempting to give an interview to somebody. Yeah, and then Uber ride back. We magically appeared back at the Airbnb.
That is how it goes.
That's a new feature that Uber has.
New feature
Yes,
on
teleportation.
New feature on Uber. Uber teleportation. And then yeah, unfortunately, my poor girlfriend got a FaceTime call from me.
Oh my god.
Oh, I was just like, I was laying in bed. She's got a screenshot of it, and I'm like half asleep, one eye open. And I was just like talking to her. I was like, "Oh, I miss you." Like,
Yeah.
But it was. She thought it was very funny. She was like, "You are very drunk," and I was like,
Oh yeah.
yeah."
Those hand grenades definitely
Did
have
the boys
have-
in?
It
well, they have
was
the vibe
literally-
of like, you will be hearing from me after I
yeah.
have this hand grenade.
You have no choice but to acknowledge me.
Yeah.
So the rest of the night, because I do want to make sure that we make it to the meat and potatoes. But the rest of the night, you know, we all go home, pass out. We're too old to be getting that drunk that early in the day.
True.
So we all
Ain't built like
pass
I once
out.
was.
In
Yeah,
that
so
Louisiana swamp heat.
there is a video of this. I fall asleep just flat on my back in my bed. All my clothes, my shoes are on. And, you know, my friends decide to point out to me that I also have fallen asleep with one of my eyes open. Don't know how I did it, but one of my eyes was open while I was asleep, fully knocked out. And then when I woke up, I was under the covers and my shoes are off and I was very comfortable. You know, I go downstairs and we go to a restaurant for dinner. It's not like upscale, but it's pretty nice. And man, I was in a bad way. I'm sitting at the head of the table and I sit down and I go, I'm not going to consume anything at this table. I'm going to drink water and pray that I do not vomit all over this table. So sat there for around 30 minutes. I could not tell you the first thing about this dinner. I was so focused on not throwing up. I'm like locked in. I order my food. I take 2 bites. I sit it down. I say, this is it. This is it for me. And, you know, I'll just say that when we got back, exercised some demons, maybe twice, maybe a couple times. And then I fucking passed out and went to bed. But I do want to point out that on the way to the dinner, I do remember this. We were in an Uber with Paddy, and we went to a place that serves seafood. And for some reason, this automatically translated to sushi for Paddy. And so I think, I shit you not, like 5 or 6 times, he goes, I can't wait for this sushi. And the entire car is like, we are not getting sushi. And 5 seconds later, he's like, man, this sushi's going to be so good. Just over and over.
Real friends would have got me sushi.
Yeah, we would have found a way to get you that sushi. Yeah, but I would say just a nice dinner. A nice dinner for the people who were not dying, you know, at the table. But I do want to make sure that we get to the second day, because that's what I really care about. We took that trip to Baton Rouge for a game day. We went to Chimes on the main street.
I'd like to preface one thing before. It is a miracle that I got in the car to go to this.
It's true. It's true.
I legitimately woke up the next morning so hungover that I was like, how much is it an Uber to LSU at a later time so that I could recover more? Mind you, it's like an hour and a half away from where we were staying. It was like $100. I was like, you know what? That's worth it. Yeah. I did rally. I made it. But
yes.
There was a real couple of hours in the morning where I was like, nope, not happening. I'm not doing it.
He was willing to invest to not be there.
I was in such a bad way, man. It was so bad that morning.
Yeah. I think we were all definitely like, we got humbled a little bit.
Yep.
So we all get there. We go to Chimes. Half the group is very hungry. So they go to the original Cane's on Highland.
It was cool.
Yeah. They were like on a curbside, essentially. Like, imagine your Chick-fil-A drive-through, person with the iPad. chowed down. A few of us stayed back. We got some really solid food at Chimes on their rooftop. Got to watch some other college football games. We got to watch Bama with a bunch of LSU fans, which we covered on another episode of 2 Minute Drill. I think a couple back at this point. So check it out. 2 Minute Drill after this, though. After this, stay right here. And then it was time for the game. I know we walked, guys. We walked like 5 miles.
A lot.
I'm not gonna lie to you. We walked a lot. We worked off any calories we ate. And yeah, we go into the stadium. We go into, I shit you not, the nose, like we're in the sky.
Way up.
Yeah, this stadium
some cool
is
pictures,
huge. Though. We did, and we got to see the full stadium in its glory, which was great. I think once I got back in there, I started to remember why I fell in love with college football so much, because the atmosphere whenever that game was kicking off was like something you never seen. Like it's the cannon booms, the fireworks are going. It was you guys' first pilgrimage to Death Valley. Paddy, it was your first SEC game in person.
Yes,
Bello, it was like your first college football game, period. I want some rapid reactions. What were the thoughts of Death Valley at night?
Stadium was massive.
Yep.
The like pregame stuff was really cool. Like it definitely gets you hyped. I mean, we got like pretty much like a perfect day to see like a night game. We got to see the sunset behind the stadium. Yeah, no, I mean, it was an electric atmosphere. It was really cool. Let me tell you something. The food in that stadium, that jambalaya,
dude,
fire,
so
crazy.
good.
Fire.
So good. Yeah, no, it was cool. The only complaint that I had was that there was no backs to the seats that we
that's
had
tough.
up in the top. So like sitting there the entire game was a little uncomfortable. You're just sitting in like bleacher seats. But that was just because we were all the way up and you run out of actual seats.
We passed like 10 rows of seats with backs, too. We were like 3 rows above where the seats with backs were, which made it even worse. But Bello, this was your first college football experience, really. So very curious. What were your thoughts?
I like struggled with it because the scale is so insane that I was just like, you're telling me this is a school? Like,
honestly, yeah.
What the fuck? Especially LSU, anyone who knows college football, even me that I don't know much about college football, I knew that LSU was one of those universities. It's like SEC football, like there's pedigree, there's tradition, there's this like overwhelming feeling that's like football comes first and then school.
Yes.
Very much so. Yeah, it was
God, family, and football.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I was just kind of like taken aback by like the scale of it and how many people were there. Also LSU, kind of a weird university, the way it's like laid out. It's very like outdoor.
Yeah.
Like, we were walking around LSU and I was like, where does the university stop and like Baton Rouge begin? I don't understand.
It is very sprawled out, which I didn't really think about until we were all talking about it. And I was like, yeah, now that I think about it, like we are all over the place, like
it
for
felt
a
like
campus.
we were on campus and then we were at a bar. And it's like, oh no, this is not on campus anymore. And I was like, whoa, when the fuck did we get off campus?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, for me going to not a small university, like for enrollment wise, it's definitely bigger than LSU. But like for sports wise, it's nothing. So it's just so weird for me to like walk around a university that's just like the stadium is gargantuan. Like,
Yeah, it's huge. It's massive.
absolutely insane. Really cool though.
Yeah. And there's a freaking tiger on campus.
Yeah,
there
that
is.
seems. I'll be honest with you, Big Dog. I know you're LSU guy. I know for you it seems normal. That to me that seems fucking insane. Like let that thing go. Get him off of that campus.
They take real good care of Mike.
He's eating better than all of us, man.
He is.
You can
That's
have
not
a
joke.
metaphorical tiger, man. You don't need to have a physical live specimen on
We
campus.
want real tigers. Ain't none better. I do want to dedicate time to this story because I wish that we were all the type when shit is popping off to pull out your phone and start recording. Because I wish that we had a video of this happening.
I'm so mad I missed this.
Yeah. Oh my God. But me and Bello were sitting very close to one another, so we saw it all go down, and he was the one who tipped me off. So we're sitting there. You know, I'm locked in on the game. I'm just going to be honest. So I'm not paying attention to anything but the freaking football on the field. And there's a woman in front of us. Her name was Heather, and she was 41 years old. So we're sitting there, and she's talking to a group of maybe 5, 6, around
It was like
22.
9 or 10, dude.
Yeah, like 22 to 25. Like, they're definitely not in college anymore. They're definitely not, like, you know, in their 30s or anything. Like, these are young men. So we're sitting there, and Bello is, like, fucking nudging me. I'm locked in on the game, so I'm like, what the fuck is, like, what is going on? And he starts going, are you listening to her? Are you hearing what she's saying? Like, you need to start paying attention. Bello, I'll let you take it from there, because you were locked in the whole time.
Oh, God. For, you know, trigger warning, this gets pretty vile pretty quickly. So just so you know. Yeah, something that college football does to people, I'll never fully understand. I don't know how it started. We caught it maybe halfway into it, possibly. I just remember looking down, and there's this woman, and she's like talking to all these guys, and she's turned around. For context, she's there with 2 daughters and a husband in her row. She's turned around facing a, 10, 22 to 25-year-olds that we were talking about earlier. And we just start catching her saying some very sexual things in nature, talking about her body, like, very much. She's everyone knows this. She starts comparing hand sizes to some of these guys. She's like, give me your hand. I want to see whose hand's bigger. And we're like, ma'am, don't do this.
Yeah.
Don't. Your kids are there. Your husband's there. These guys are like very young compared to you. Don't. And she starts getting more and more out there because I believe they start rejecting her. Like, they start outwardly being like, and I believe they were also drunk. So I don't think we're doing it in a respectful way. I believe they're being a little bit feisty, and they're like, hey, back up, or like, you're older than us, whatever remarks. I did not catch anything to quote. I wish I had quotes for you guys. And then I just remember her saying, like, you couldn't handle all this, while touching her chest and stomach. And that's where I was like, oh no. Guys, we need to lock in here because I don't know what's about to happen. Again, her husband, doing nothing.
Literally.
Just staring forward at the game.
He was locked into the game, man.
Yeah.
Priorities.
Her child is like grabbing her arm and being like, Mom, stop. Mom, stop. She's clearly inebriated. And it seemed like it stopped. It seemed like once the kid got involved and kind of started yanking on her hand, like, yo, like, stop. She kind of stopped for a bit. And then she turns back around. And again, trigger warning, because this is very vulgar. She just looks at him, and all I heard was finger my technical difficulties in there at some point.
God.
And I was like, oh, Jesus
How are we going to keep that
Christ.
in the episode?
Trigger warning. I did a trigger warning, and I did a
clever splicing on that.
whatever
one.
you got to do.
God.
I tried to make it clear. Crazy work from the woman. And that's what I think the guys really sort of be like, get the fuck out of here. She gets pulled away by her husband, and he's like, go, like, whatever. Whoever's serving her drinks at this point, please stop. Let's see when someone's about to fall over, stop serving them drinks. And
Never
then
gonna
her
happen.
husband starts talking to the guys and says some of the most crazy shit I've ever heard in my life. Of like, guys,
She will hit you.
Yeah,
she's
she
gonna
might
hit
smack
you.
you.
like
She
if you-
might smack you.
He's saying to them, if they don't stop, that she's gonna hit them. And we're sitting there to defend these guys as much as they're being a little feisty. They're not initiating. She is very much initiating these conversations. And yeah, I don't think we saw her again after that point. I think she may have come
she
back
left
for like a
late
second.
third
Yeah, she
quarter.
dipped. She dipped with the youngest child.
Yes.
Paddy, I saw the finger go up. Did you have something to add? I feel like there's some context in there.
It always baffles me, and like as a college student who's been to games and like has gotten like drunk at games, it's like it's difficult to know in the moment when it's just like, hey, you need to stop. But like they just kept coming back over and over again, and it's like, at what point? Like, because the guys just kept doing it because honestly they were just entertained by it. At what point do you realize, as like the husband or someone in that scenario, just be like, it's time to go. Like we have to go. Like it's over. We lost.
Yeah, like especially and just caveat to this whole thing. These guys did get her on video saying this stuff. So, man, I wish I had this video. I looked for it, I promise. But they have her on video saying all this stuff. And the thing that I think we all discussed is there's no way that her husband knew what she was saying to them. Because, like, it was very graphic. Like, she was being extremely graphic. Like, that's how I know that she's 41 years old. She was asking, like, have you ever been with a 41-year-old? To these kids, essentially. And yeah, the reason I know her name is because her husband starts going, Heather, cut it out, get over here. I'm like, oh Lord Jesus Mary. So yeah, very eventful. The actual game, very bad. I did not enjoy watching the game. I was very frustrated. We did win, so that was good, but it was a microcosm of the Brian Kelly era. And, it was the only game I've ever seen Brian Kelly coach in person. He was gone 3 weeks later, which is absolutely insane. But yeah, I think overall, everybody had a great time. Like, obviously, we're focusing on our experience because we're the ones on the pod. But I had 4 of my other very close friends there, and we all had a blast. They seemed like they had a bunch of fun. A lot of people got LSU gear paraphernalia, which made me very happy. But it was a great time. I appreciated everybody that went. If you guys are listening to this, love you guys. Love you guys on this pod. And it was a great time. And then we, drove back.
Some guy tried to fight me.
Yeah, had an interesting experience on the way back.
Mind you, I was sober because I was struggling throughout the entire day. I think I had maybe like 2 beers the entire day. So I was fine. We get back to our car, where we were about to like drive home, and it was by this bar, and there was like porta potties. So I went into one of the porta potties before we got back going because long drive, whatever. I get out. The guys had already started walking, so they were away from me. And I get out and immediately confronted by this guy in a Florida State jersey. I'm wearing a Miami jersey. And I don't know if he mistook me for somebody else or was just like, oh, Miami, I'm wearing Florida State. Fuck this guy. But he is like, I'm ready to go. Let's do this thing. Like really trying to get me to fight him. And then his buddy comes up and is like, no, man, the cops are looking. So then I'm like, oh, I don't know you, man. And I walk away. We drive back. This dude had 3 cops on him, face down, getting the cuffs on him.
To be very clear as well, because I saw this from a distance. I didn't let Paddy leave my eyesight, at least. I wanted to make sure that he came. And thank God I did, because I got to see this. Guy is so drunk, he almost couldn't stand up.
Yeah.
That's how hammered this guy was.
I had no idea this was going on until you got in the car. And you were like, dude, a guy tried to fight me. And I thought it was fuck you. But no,
this guy legitimately tried to fight me.
He really did.
He wanted to exchange hands.
his friend had to like straight jacket grab him from behind and lift him and be like, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Stop.
big boy.
And
That was
then,
a big boy.
Didn't
on
know
the
what I
way
did,
out-
man.
On the way
Just-
out, watching him getting cuffed face first on the asphalt was
really
That was pretty
funny.
wild.
hilarious.
He kept going dead weight, like falling on
did.
the ground and shit. Yeah, but then we made our trek back to Baton Rouge the night of. I had to leave the Airbnb at like 4:30 in the morning. That was a really rough morning the next morning. But overall, very fun trip, very entertaining. It was great to get my guys down to my alma mater, and it was really special. So appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all. You're loyal.
Good times.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I actually kind of like New Orleans now. I didn't before. I
Hey.
thought it was scary. Now, Bourbon Street during
I
the day,
still think
fuck
it's
with it.
scary, but less scary.
Well, I still think it's
It's
scary,
like
but
a
it's
little
fun.
bit more fun.
Yeah, I could do Bourbon Street during the day. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's a perfect place to wrap this up. Again, follow us TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, YouTube soon. Ooh. Yeah, there's some exciting stuff in the pipeline. Just know, I've said this on an old episode. This is not a flash in the pan. We're here for the next 50 years. So you might as well listen. We're going to be here anyway, talking into the ether. You might as well listen to us. Stay safe. Love you guys. Have a fun Halloween. Ooh.
Happy
'cause
Halloween, everybody.
Is this
Spooky
Friday.
season.
So anything else we want to go out on, boys?
Eat a lot of candy. You know? My personal favorite, Reese's Cups.
Great choice.
No, I'll skip. Pass.
Pass. The fuck does that mean?
Okay. And I'll end on love you guys. See you next time. Peace.